Hi guys, my name is Yetty and welcome to another episode of Yettysplash. Guys, we all know that the UK has been giving us gbas when it comes to immigration, and the latest one has to do with visitors visa, right? They've extended the kind of activities in which visitors can undertake while they are in the UK. So this gave rise to a lot of questions and a lot of content online where people are now asking, oh, can I come into the UK to quickly work for 6 months and then go back home? What can I do on a visitor's visa now? And so on and so forth. So I'm here to clarify that. You need to understand that, yes, the UK government has extended the activities in which visitors can now do in the United Kingdom, right? When they are in the United Kingdom, they can either take up research activities, they can take up permitted paid engagements, they can work remotely, they can provide legal services. But however, what one needs to understand is that there is a particular criteria in which one needs to fulfill before you're able to do all of this. So I'm going to start with the permitted paid, engagement for us to understand. It is very important to clarify that a standard visitor's visa still remains a standard visitor's visa. All right, a permitted paid engagement visa has some criteria, has some engagement, has some eligibility, and until you tick or check all these boxes, you will not be eligible to apply for it. It is only when you apply for the permitted paid engagement visitor's visa online, and then you can now come into the UK to work and do that engagement for which you have been asked to come and do. In a minute, I'm going to tell you all the things you need, but you also need to know that the permitted paid engagement visa only lasts for a month. You can come into the UK and then do this and extend it to like 6 months, like the standard visitors visa. You're coming into the UK to probably attend conferences and seminars, and you're being paid, you're being a speaker at this conference, so you must be able to fulfill the condition that in a month, all that you want to do in the United Kingdom, your conference, you'd have attended everything, and you won't spend more than 1 month in the United Kingdom. So they are sort of different from a standard visitor visa. With a standard visitor visa, you're allowed to come into the UK to visit the UK, maybe for family visit, tourism, sightseeing, but you can stay for up to 6 months, and you cannot take a paid or unpaid job on a standard visitor's visa, meaning that whether they are offering to pay you or is voluntary, you can't just work on this type of visa. So it is really important that I clarify this for you. A statement of changes in the immigration rule was also laid, which include a welcome expansion for work activities for visitors, along with other positive measures. The UK has introduced some sort of permitted work activities for visitors in the United Kingdom. The first of it is remote working. So this policy confirmed that visitors visiting the UK can actually work remotely, while in the United Kingdom, but as long as their main purpose of visit is not to come and work. So if you're on a visitor's visa and then you have the need to work remotely, you're more than welcome to do that. But your main purpose of visiting the United Kingdom will not be to come and work remotely. But if you're already here and then you want to work remotely, you're here on a visitor's visa, then you can work remotely. So that has been cleared out now. Another notable one has to do with scientists, researchers, academics, right? The new immigration policy has confirmed these group of individuals will be able to conduct research in the UK as part of their visits. This is really a fairly significant improvement, because currently scientists and researchers can only conduct independent research. Academics can only conduct research for their own purposes if they are on sabbatical leave from their own country. So now they're extending it or expanding the provisions to say, look, even if you're in the UK, then you're allowed to work, you're allowed to conduct your own research, which is some sort of welcome development. This particular relaxation will only apply to researchers, academic scientists coming into the UK under the standard tours route. To not apply to the academics applying for a 12-month academic visit visa. Those applying to extend their stay within the UK. So you can't use this visa to extend your stay into the UK if you're doing academic research. No. So the regular standard visitor visa is what these academic or researchers would have applied for, and then they are allowed to come into the UK to then carry out, that research. Lawyers, legal profession. Statement confirms that lawyers will be able to provide a range of legal services while they are visiting the United Kingdom, including providing advice, teaching, drafting documents and other transactional services, litigation, acting as arbitrator, mediators, and even as expert witnesses. So all these lawyers can do if they're in the UK, but however, of course, your profession must be that you are a lawyer. You can't just say you're coming into the UK to draft litigation documents and this, and then you have no background in law, or you're not a qualified lawyer from wherever you're coming from. Now, permitted paid engagement. Visitors seeking to undertake a permitted paid engagement in the UK will no longer have to apply specifically for that purpose. This category of rule will instead become part of the standard visitors rule. Important to note that anyone intending to undertake permitted paid engagement activity must have arranged these activities before their arrival in the United Kingdom and must complete the activities within 1 month. So if you're coming to the UK for paid engagement activities, everything must have been arranged before you arrive in the UK. Not that it's when you arrive in the UK you now be, sort of like sorting it out. It must be arranged before your arrival in the UK, and it must have been completed, within 1 month. Intra-corporate activities. Individuals employed abroad who visit a group business in the UK will now be allowed to carry out the following activities directly with clients: advising and consulting, troubleshooting, providing training, and sharing knowledge and skills. These activities must be undertaken to deliver a project, service on behalf of UK group business, and it must be incidental to the person's employment abroad. So guys, the question begging for answer now is the standard visitors visa the same as the visitors visa for paid engagements? We all know that the regular standard visitor visa does not allow visitors to come into the United Kingdom to either take up paid or unpaid work, meaning whether you can't even come on a visit visa to come and volunteer in the United Kingdom, so you can't take paid or unpaid work. The UK is now introducing the opportunity to visit the UK for what we call permitted paid engagement. So this is totally different from the standard visitor visa. If you're coming to the UK on a paid engagement, you have to apply on a different website from the standard visitors website. Important to note that you may be able to visit the UK for a paid engagement if you have been invited an expert in your organization. Visit the UK for up to 1 month. You cannot extend your stay. But what you need to do is that if you're coming to the UK for paid engagement, you can come within 1 month. You can visit the UK within 1 month, but you cannot, extend your stay. You need to check if what you plan to do in the UK is allowed. You have to check that you meet the eligibility requirements. Prepare your invitation and then your documentation. The company has to prepare your invitation, then you also have to prepare your documentation necessary. What are the things you can do on a permitted paid engagement visitor visa? You can be invited, and then paid by a UK-based organization, a professional artist, entertainer, or musician, the professional sport person, lawyer, represent a client as an academic examiner or assessor, as an air pilot examiner. So if you do not follow these categories, then you cannot even come into the UK to take any paid engagement. You have to follow under these, categories. So what can you now do on this visa? You cannot do paid work that is totally unrelated to your expertise abroad. For example, if you're in Nigeria as a lawyer, you can't come here and then become a sport person. Do you understand? So the job that you're doing has to be relevant. You can only take a paid engagement for something that you're an authority on, something that is relevant to what you're doing, abroad, what you're doing back home. You cannot study on this visa. You cannot live in the UK for extended periods on this visa. You cannot claim public funds on this visa. You cannot pass through the UK. That is, you can't use this visa as a transit visa because it is not a transit visa. You cannot marry or register a civil partnership with anyone while you're on this visa in the United Kingdom. What are the eligibility requirements of this visa? To show that you have been formally invited by a UK-based organization, attend a pre-arranged, emphasis on the word pre-arranged, meaning that the engagement must have been arranged before your arrival to the United Kingdom. Must be 18 or over, must be able to leave the UK at the end of your visit, must be able to support yourself during this trip, must be able to pay for your journey, both your return and then, outward journey. These are the things that you cannot even do on this visa. How then do you prepare your invitation and other documents? You must have a valid passport that you want to travel with. Need a formal written invitation letter from a UK-based organization or client. So guys, let's get it twisted. A standard visitors visa still remains a standard visitors visa, and it is not the same as a permitted paid engagement, kind of visitors visa. For that type of visitors visa, you're being invited to come into the United Kingdom to come and take up paid engagement, okay? But a standard visitors visa is for you to just come and visit, and you still cannot work on it. So we need to clarify this. So if you have a mom or you have a dad or you have your uncle or your aunts or your sisters that are coming to the United Kingdom, they cannot come into the UK to come and work. We have to clarify that. Come to the end of today's video, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and still remain your one and only baby girl Yetty. Stay blessed.